Ah, the 1960s, a decade of revolution, flower power, and films that didn't need CGI to traumatize your dreams. This was horror before the genre got therapy. Think low budgets, high anxiety, and directors who weren't afraid to whisper boo with a sledgehammer. We're diving deep into 5 of the weirdest, most spine-mangling horror gems from the 60s, some of which you definitely haven't seen but probably should if you want to keep your horror fan card. So, hit that like button before your hands start shaking, drop a comment with your own favorite freakouts from the era, and subscribe for more deep cuts that'll rot your popcorn with fear. And trust me, you really want to stick around for number 1. Before he gave us Don Corleone, Francis Ford Coppola gave us a hatchet-wielding lunatic and a ghost child in a frilly dress. Dementia 13 is what happens when Roger Corman hands you some leftover money and says, "Go make something weird in Ireland." Coppola, only 24 at the time and operating at full caffeinated madness, whipped up this eerie psychodrama about a greedy widow, an aristocratic family with way too many secrets, and a conveniently spooky lake. This film is drenched in gothic vibes, full of stark shadows and repressed trauma, like a soap opera with murder and hallucinations. It's part murder mystery, part ghost story, part what the heck did I just watch. The plot is slippery, the editing is jarring, and the music sounds like a haunted songbird eating itself. But it's unforgettable. And get this, Coppola shot it guerrilla style, hiding from local authorities and sometimes even from his own cast. That chaotic energy shows, and it works.
Castle Halloran is a very strange place. The kind of place you'd expect a ghost to like to wander around in. There's something in this house.
Tell me what happened.
There's some things you don't understand. Not yet.
Spider Baby is like the Addams Family if Uncle Fester was into ritual murder and Wednesday had fangs. Directed by Jack Hill, the guy who would later bring the world Pam Grier in full vengeance mode, this low-budget masterpiece is a bizarre, off-kilter, pitch-black comedy about a family suffering from a fictional condition called Mary Syndrome, which causes them to regress mentally as they age. Also, they eat people. Cute, right? Lon Chaney Jr., the original Wolfman himself, gives one of his most oddly tender performances as Bruno, the devoted caretaker trying to hold this crumbling house of horrors together. Oh, and he sings the theme song. There's murder by spider web, knife fights in dumbwaiters, and a tone that swings between innocent playtime and existential dread like a cracked pendulum. This movie was so weird, it sat on a shelf for years until someone finally said, "You know what the world needs? Inbred cannibal siblings who play dress-up." You haven't lived until you've watched Virginia eat a mailman.
Dreams and bones and bats and bones and teenage monsters in haunted homes, a ghost on the stair, a vampire.
Big fat bug right in my spiderweb. Virginia, are you crazy? You're bad. Bad.
Animal spiders creep and crawl, boys and ghouls having a ball.
He's just a big kid.
Yes, it's like you say, sir. We're not very formal here at Mary House.
Sit round a fire with this cup of brew, a fiend and a werewolf on each side of you.
Still, all I want to do is make a little teeny cut.
Russia's first horror film and still arguably its best, based on a Nikolai Gogol story and looks like it was filmed inside a medieval nightmare. Imagine The Exorcist if it were directed by an Orthodox monk with a budget of boiled potatoes and haunted icons. The plot follows a young seminarian named Koma who's forced to spend 3 nights praying over the body of a dead witch in a crumbling chapel. Spoiler: it does not go well. The final act of this film is one of the most deliriously creative things ever committed to celluloid in the 60s. Gravity breaks. The floor vomits monsters. Witches crawl on ceilings. Demons spin like there is no tomorrow. And then, an ancient, blobby, bug-eyed demon, arrives like the Michelin Man's creepy uncle. The special effects are delightful, using wires, puppets, and deeply confused livestock to create an atmosphere that's equal parts spooky and surreal. Soviet censors hated horror, so it had to be cloaked in folklore and literary respectability, but make no mistake, this film is pure terror with a Slavic soul.
Fantastic folk legend as told by Nikolai Gogol in his classic tale called V. Starring Natalia Varley and Leonid Kravlev.
Begone! Begone, witch of Satan! Get away, she-devil! God Almighty, save thy servant! Away, Satan! Devil, begone! Get away! Away!
You are doomed. V. A fantastic film that you won't want to miss.
Summon the Great V!
This eerily elegant British chiller stars David Niven as a French nobleman who returns to his ancestral estate after a series of bad harvests. What happens is a slow burn descent into paganism, human sacrifice, and weirdly graceful archery. Seriously, there's so much ominous archery in this movie it feels like a druid-themed Robin Hood reboot. But the real story here is the cast. Deborah Kerr is flawless as always, and Donald Pleasance radiates sinister priest energy, but all eyes are on Sharon Tate in her debut role. She doesn't speak much, but she doesn't need to. She's basically a living hallucination in a velvet cloak. The film's pacing is deliberately glacial, building terror like a snake coiling in tall grass. It's all about mood, atmosphere, and the slow, grim realization that tradition is just a fancier word for doom. If you've ever wanted to watch a cult movie where the cult wears capes and quotes Latin, this one's your jam.
What are you seeking, Philippe?
Am I seeking? Or am I being sought?
The people of Belanek are deeply rooted in the past. Their traditions of worship are ancient.
I assure you, it's quite harmless.
I'm sorry, darling, but I don't believe that.
I believe it, Catherine.
Help me. I am helping you, Catherine. Just a few more steps.
I just want you to leave here.
You must be mad. You must all be mad. All of you.
No, not the band. Though yes, the band did take their name from this film. Directed by the Italian maestro Mario Bava, Black Sabbath is a trinity of terror, 3 short stories, each more unsettling than the last, introduced by a grinning Boris Karloff who looks like your grandfather if he moonlighted as a warlock. The first tale is Proto-Giallo Sleaze featuring threatening calls, ex-lovers, and a rotary phone with boundary issues. The second stars Karloff as a Serbian vampire dad who's come back from the dead and is definitely not here for family game night. And the last is possibly one of the scariest things Bava ever shot, a ghost story about a nurse who steals a ring from a corpse with the most disturbing face in horror history. Bava's use of color here is absolutely bananas. Gels, shadows, saturated hues. It's like he painted with fear instead of light. There's a tactile eeriness to the entire production, like you could reach into the screen and pull out a cobweb soaked in absinthe. This anthology set the tone for Italian horror for the next 2 decades. If Black Sabbath doesn't give you chills, check your pulse.
Do you believe in ghosts?
This is the night when fear and horror walk hand in hand. Black Sabbath, as ancient as superstition, as modern as the telephone.
Who are you? Who?
Black Sabbath.
I am hungry.
Is he man? Or vampire? Starring the incomparable Boris Karloff, the personable Mark Damon, and lush and lovely women.
This is Black Sabbath.
Now we want your haunted hits. What 60s horror movies do you think should have made the cut? Drop them in the comments and feed our curiosity. And hey, if this list got your blood pumping, give that subscribe button a friendly little poke and check out our hand-picked movie playlists for more shadowy cinema. See you in the next video.